Welcome back to GoSycamores.com as we are getting ready for the NCAA National Meet next week in Oregon. Sycamores have 4 athletes going to Eugene. Last year, there were 2 of them. One of them sitting right next to me, Adarius Washington, as Adarius joins us. Adarius, it's great to see you. I know you're busy on campus with now your job being a university police officer. How is Adarius Washington doing these days?
Doing good. Just going through the motions of the normal work, just trying to transition over to the general workforce.
How different has that been now? Of course, your time here in Terre Haute mostly has been spent on that track concourse, not too far away from us, and being able to rep the Indiana State blue and white. How has the transition been, kind of now being an alum of the program?
It's been pretty good. Just really, I'll try to stick around and go over it as much as possible. So it felt really good just to be able to stay near Terre Haute.
Well, one of the biggest news, obviously, this week was Angie Martin being promoted and eventually now named the director of the Indiana State Track and Field and Cross Country programs. You've been a part of this program, as I mentioned. You know how big of a role, of course, Coach McNichols played, but the Martins have played. What it meant for you now as an alum of the program to see Coach Martin be put into that permanent role and will be a part of this program for a long time coming.
I can't think of anybody more deserving of it. The Martins are like another family to me, and pretty much every other alum and every single member here, so just feels great to know that they're still here.
Why is it they have that such a special connection with you guys?
I think it's just because one, it's probably because they're younger, so they understand, they give us breaks, but also they're still older, so they still have the experience to help us really go through things and just talk us through it.
You know, I joke with Marcus from time to time, which will be a guy we talk about in a moment, about how if he could beat Jeff Martin in his prime. You probably know that could be Jeff Martin in his prime, right?
Yeah, Jeff will have no chance.
Marcus is at least a little bit nicer and gives Jeff a little bit of a chance. But let's talk about next week. Go from the MVC Outdoor to the prelims to the national meet. How big of a change is it that those 4 Sycamores are going to have next week when they head to Eugene?
I think it's a huge difference mostly because of the crowd size. At regionals, you have a moderate crowd size, but at national, everybody seems to show up. So just really, you don't really have to do anything extra. Just go there and perform like you know you can, then you'll be fine.
What do you remember most about your experience?
Really just running through the rounds. I can still remember sitting on the line, nervous, shaking, and then the gun goes off and you just forget everything. And the next thing you know, at the finish line, trying to figure out what place you got. So just that numbness to running, I miss it a little bit, but just the numbness to running that's probably what I remember most.
You've had success there. Last year you finished 3rd. What do you believe allowed you to perform at such a high level when you went to Eugene, despite it being a bigger crowd and just more eyeballs being on you?
Just more experience, and then also I stopped caring about like all the extra, everything that comes along with track, like how everybody's warming up, how everybody's eating. I just went out and basically ran and had fun, and it seemed to work out for me fine.
Marcus is a guy you know well. Last year he finished 2nd to you at the MVC Outdoor Championships. What is it about Marcus that has really propelled him to the year he's had, and why he's in a position to be able to race at the NCAA Championships next week?
He just really doesn't give up. He's a hard worker, and he just goes through the motions like everybody else, and he's building confidence over the years, and I'm really proud of him. But he's amazing. So,
what's the biggest thing you would really tell him as you talk to him as he prepares for next week?
As I told him last week, I said you don't need to do anything special. Just go and do what coach know you could do and what you know you could do, and you'll be fine. Just go run the rounds and just have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Eat whatever you want. Just go out and have fun and just enjoy your time out there, because you're going to remember for the rest of your life.
David Timlin went with you a year ago. He's back again. What has David been able to accomplish? And for you as a former teammate of his, as a friend of his, what is it like to watch him now and see him continue to do what he's been able to do?
It feels good. He does not give up. I still remember when he gave me my jersey, that's the first thing that came to mind as soon as you started talking. But he just doesn't give up. He works so hard, and it's like he's the most dependable runner I know. He can run a 1,500, he can run a mile, he can run a 10K, he can literally run everything. If he needs to run a 4x4, you can put him in it. Like, I've never seen such a versatile athlete at this level. And it's basically just good at everything. He wants to do hurdles, but I don't think he has the hamstrings for it. But I wouldn't put it past him if he wanted to try.
All the rest of the Sycamores, the other 3, we talked about Marcus, we talked about David, Alethea, and you also look at Taylor. What about their makeup is allowing them to be able to get to this point, but not just get to this point, be able to make a name for themselves in Eugene next week?
Yeah, I'll start with Taylor. Taylor's a hard worker. Every time I see her in practice, just busting her guts just to get through the workouts, and it's clearly paid off. And also with Elise, she works hard all the time. She's another versatile athlete. You can literally throw her and everything. So I'm just proud of everybody. I just hope everybody does really, really good.
Well, and I'm sure, Adarius, my last thing to ask you would be if you had to give advice to them, the biggest thing would probably be pack their jersey, right?
Yeah, it'll be the first thing. Put your jersey in your bag first with your spikes. Put it on your carry-on, like Coach Nichols always used to say. Don't get caught without it, because who knows? If Timlin's not there to give you a jersey, you won't have one.
Darius, it's great to see you. Glad you're doing so well. Thanks so much for spending some time with us and previewing the championships next week.
No problem. Anytime.
Once again, that was Adarius Washington. For more on the track stars, we will be out in Eugene for our coverage next week. But for now, for Adarius Washington and everybody in Indiana State Track and Field, I'm Luke Martin saying so long.